counties in our country.
Whoa, what's going on? Oh, J.D. Mason, get him out of here. Yeah, my goat. Respect. That's what I'm talking about. YOLO.
A high-stakes primetime address.
The president's first major speech to Congress just 43 days into his administration.
Our special coverage starts right now.
Tonight on Capitol Hill, a critical moment for President Trump.
The president set to lay out his priorities to lawmakers, coming at a turbulent moment at home and abroad.
President Trump ramping up efforts to reshape the federal government as he signals a shift from decades of U.S. foreign policy.
Someone in the chat said, is this going to be tighter or is he going to ramble on? My man, if you think he's not going to ramble on, you have not been paying attention. Donald Trump has never been tight, okay? Did you remember a Biden speech, dude? Hasanabi hypocrite, haha. I love that. Thank God we got some hogs in here. Oh, I miss the hogs so much. Thank you for being in here with us, chatter. I will give you delicious lib tears that you are looking for. You obviously weren't in here when I was covering Biden and shitting on him relentlessly, but it's okay. It makes me happy that the liberals are in here to be like, you just hate Trump. You loved it when Biden gave State of the Union. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to pull up Asmongold's chat too to see what they're saying as well. Trust me.
With the exception of Matt Gaetz, who was briefly
that makes it more fun. It's like live reacting alongside Asmongold. Jeffries wants Dems to be submissive and breedable. Jeffries told House Democrats express unity and attempt counter to Trump's address tonight. Nice.
We're hoping that he would be the deal maker in chief.
Oh, hold on. Let me put the MAGA hat on too. Yes, Chatter is right. Chatter said put the MAGA hat on to express your apolitical nature. Guys, let's not, I want people to remember I am apolitical, okay? And the hat, of course, helps you recognize that this is the simple populist position and also the centrist position. As a centrist, I would like to wear my centrist shield. No politics here, obviously.
There has been real dissatisfaction. Critics say these are Democratic opponents, but a lot of Americans are starting to feel the impacts as it hits their own community. 80% of American federal workers work outside Washington, D.C.
Well, let's listen to the president.
Luncheon today, so we can't talk about the substance of the conversation, but we can talk about, I think he seemed relaxed. He seemed very confident today.
Yeah, I think there's a pep in his step. I mean,
bro, I'm going to be honest with you. They are glazing him at NBC News. Holy Lester. Take it out of your mouth. Take it out of your mouth.
And is looking forward to this speech tonight and wants to, as he says, tell it like it is.
Thank you.
Also remember, because I was banned yesterday, if you didn't resubscribe, your resubscription might have been canceled. You can subscribe now for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime or get gifted a sub.
Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson.
Now.
Vice President Vance.
Was that Ben Shapiro? Ew.
The First Lady of the United States.
Matt Walsh is there too. Gross.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. certainly back, baby.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years, 8 years, and we are just getting started.
I'm dropping all planes going forward. No plane shall fly. It's an affront to God. It's disrespectful. Yeah, Trump brought big back into video games. That's why they're excited.
That America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back. Our confidence is back. And the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
I think it's kind of it's a bit gross to glaze this hard. I mean, come on.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Whoa, what's going on?
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
The most ever. Okay, I like that. I like the Democrats getting in their feelings a little bit. I like it.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point
get him out of
jump.
here. Yeah, my goat.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared
Democratic
to direct the Sergeant at Arms
Congressperson.
to restore order to the joint session.
Yeah, he's got a cane. Yeah, he needs it. From Houston.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of property.
Have you said thank you
Sergeant at Arms
once?
to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Respect, 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 respect. That's what I'm talking about. YOLO. Respect. Smack him with the K now, Green. Woo! Defend yourself. You got a right to. Bro, I thought you were a centrist. Yeah, but I like the drama.
In the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Are you posting like you're there? I am
They
there.
heard my words and they chose not to come.
They let me in.
Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month. And virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Classic. This is a classic Trump moment right here. Okay? The whole, like, why don't we work together? You guys just don't want to work with me. In destroying the administrative apparatus. Also, the saddest part about it is that the Democrats do want to work with him. They always say, oh, if they came to us, we would work on a bipartisan compromise.
America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Yeah! Woo! No regulations! That's right! OSHA, I wanna die at the construction site, sir.
Paris climate.
I want to eat straight human fecal matter from my natural water supply. Also, freeze all foreign aid except Israel.
World Health Organization.
Shut the f*** up, you sissy liberal. Excuse
And I
me.
also
Look at that.
withdrew from the
Look at
anti-American
that.
UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
I think it's gross that Congress claps for this because they notoriously hate showing up for the job.
And we've ended
Partially because they're all like 800 years old, but
a
still.
sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Yeah, except in this speech, he's going to reveal that he has a task force specifically dedicated to hurting Israel's feelings, by the way. So, no, he has not brought free speech back.
2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Lamau. Even people in his chat are
I
like...
renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska.
Love Alaska.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
No more woke! I guess they're playing bingo.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
I'm clapping IRL. Meritocracy, baby. Common sense. Just basic shit.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Based. Oh my God.
Three years ago,
Dems
Peyton
are so
McNabb
anti-American, they won't even
was
clap
an
for common
all-star
sense.
high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury.
Wait, what the f? Why are you dunking on
paralyzing
this
her right
random
side
girl? That's kind of
and
up.
ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never
That's
seen anything
crazy,
like
bro.
it.
Chill.
Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
She's clapping. I'm not going to say anything. I just got unbanned. I'm not going to make any statements. I just got unbanned, okay? I'm not saying nothing.
And if you really want
I
to
feel
see
bad for
numbers,
her.
just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Bro, what do you mean? When is it going to become affordable?
Especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Oh, he's blaming Biden!
The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
What?
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
I don't think they believe either. Even Asmongold's audience doesn't believe it.
To a halt and closed more than
Eggs are still
100
expensive.
power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Yeah, it's so sick. Thank God. Yeah, clap for this hyena. Clap for the billionaire.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who's
Boo.
in the gallery tonight.
I'm sorry, I'm a centrist. I love Tesla. I love Elon. He's so genius.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's doing
We
us a
appreciate
favor
it.
by
Everybody
gutting the
here,
administrative
even this side
state.
appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
Yeah, no,
$32
definitely.
million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male
Moldovan Mama Liga, stand behind me.
in Mozambique. $20 million for
I gotta pee.
the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. We know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Trump can't read. He's reading right now, baby. He's reading. He's reading the
We've
room.
taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning.
Get him. Yell. Who's
the
yelling?
Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby. Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360
By the
years
way,
of age.
some of this stuff has been corrected, like fact-checked and stuff, and people have described why they think that this is wrong and that they're operating on faulty data, but it literally doesn't matter. It just does not matter.
Where that money's going.
I think,
And it's not going to be pretty.
I think
By
it's just
slashing all of
basically
the fraud, waste,
the
and
goal
theft we can
now
find,
is basically just
we
keep
will defeat
repeating it over and
inflation,
over again
bring down
because lying is
mortgage
so
rates,
OP,
lower car payments,
and they've realized that
grocery
like the
prices,
dumbasses in the
protect our
cult
seniors,
will
and put more
absolutely
money
eat it up.
in-
We officially do not have any interest in the truth at all. Ain't nobody is going to recognize that these people are just straight up lying. And it sucks because I always talk about when the Democrats lie. Always. But you will
today
never, I
interest
will
rates
never
took a
expect a
beautiful-
single Republican, a commentator, independent, centrist, okay, to ever turn around and be like, he's lying. Like, this is just straightforwardly not
24
true.
years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
But aren't you a centrist? Yeah, I'm a centrist. And I'm saying this as a centrist. As you can tell, I'm apolitical.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
9/11.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history
What do you call
is
Elon?
for this Congress.
You call him a genius. That's what you call him.
Everybody.
I'm a centrist, by the way.
Sure
you call
that the
Elon a
people
genius,
on
an unelectable,
my right,
unelected
I don't
genius.
mean the Republican right, but my right here. I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax. Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Yeah, chat, don't write anything stupid in the chat. You will get banned. You will get insta-clapped, okay?
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made.
Where are
Never
these
seen.
plants
That's
opening
a
up?
combination of the election win.
Where are
and
the plants
tariffs.
opening up? If
It's
there's
a
any new
beautiful
plants that have
word,
opened up,
isn't it?
it's directly a consequence of the
That
Brandon
along with our
administration's
other policies
policies.
will
You've only been in office for like, what, 30 days? Get out of here.
Absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country, first term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us
Okay, I
tremendously
hate Trump, but I
higher
love when he
tariffs
says, have you
than we
heard of them?
charge
About some
It's
of the
very
most
unfair. India
like
charges
everyone's
us
heard of
auto
it thing.
tariffs higher than
Like, yes, we've heard about
100%.
China and
China's
Mexico
average
and Canada.
tariff on our products is twice.
Thank you.
South
Have
Korea's
you
average
heard of
tariff
them?
is 4 times higher.
That's
Think
right.
of that,
I love the
4
rhetorical
times
question
higher.
joke. I know that's
And
the
we give
joke.
so
I
much
love when he
help
makes that
militarily
joke.
in so many other ways to
I love
South
it.
Korea, but that's what happens.
It's such a
This is happening
childish
by
thing. It's
friend
such a
and foe.
grandpa joke to
The
make.
system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Pop-Tart during
They are, in
Ramadan
effect,
is Astaghfirullah.
receiving
First of all, the sun
subsidies
set
of
already.
hundreds of billions.
Secondly, I'm
Canada
not fasting. Third, it's a protein
and the United
Pop-Tart.
States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people. And they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because those goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
I love you. You're all gonna lose so much revenue, farmers. My big, beautiful farmers, just a period of adjustment.
Aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel.
Your families are gonna
We don't have,
starve.
as an example, steel and lots of other things. We don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working
Nobody
at the
clap
same
for you,
steel
big dog.
plant for 27 years in a job that has
Ain't
allowed
nobody
him
clap
to
for you,
serve as
Jeff.
the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Big dog clap for himself.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by two impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative.
Did she get smacked in the head too, bro? What's going on? Some of these people that he brings on are so, it's just like you're dunking on them, you know?
Deep fake image produced by a peer with...
Look at the timing of this article. Breaking. China announces 7.2% increase in defense spending. Uh-oh.
And this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John.
He's so weird.
Thank you all
He's
very
so
much.
weird when he refers to people. He's so freaking weird when he talks about stuff. Like, he has no
thank you to
capacity to
John
talk
Thune
about
and
people
the
in an
Senate.
empathetic way.
Great job.
It's
To
odd, dude.
criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once
It's
it
such a
passes the
strange
House,
way
I
to
look
refer to
forward
humans, especially
signing
women. He
that
does this a
bill
lot.
Into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Lakin's
They're
beloved
saying
mother,
Sag.
Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Why is the dad not there? You know why. Because the dad, I think it was the dad that said, please don't make my daughter's death political and use it as a cudgel against, like, migrants, right?
See,
like,
I
he said,
told
don't
Lakin's
exploit her
grieving
tragedy.
parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Lakin-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our
This
beautiful
political
Lakin-
instrumentalization of something like this is simply disgusting. Yeah, it's super commonplace now. Trump definitely accelerated it. It used to happen. Back in the day, there was like some repercussions for it. There was some backlash to it, but I mean, one of the more famous instances is the Willie Horton incident. Like, Republicans have always done this, though. They always use, like,
Since taking
humans
office,
as
my
props.
administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature.
By the way, Elisa Slotkin, Democrats' choice for responding to the State of the Union here, voted for the Lakin-Riley Act.
Refuge.
If you want to understand where the Democrats are going with their future vision.
34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order? Thank you very much. All three savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's
One of the judges doing
murders were
doing
members of
land
the
acknowledgments,
Venezuelan
but for
prison gang,
migrant
the toughest
crime
gang, they
victims.
say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua.
The difference is
2 weeks
the
ago,
Democrats
I
don't do
officially
anything
designated
after land
this gang,
acknowledgments.
along with MS-13
Republicans use that as an
and
opportunity to
bloodthirsty Mexican
deport
drug
every
cartels as
undocumented migrant.
foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration.
We're
But
getting
now
to
every last one will
Hamas
be
in a
rounded
second.
up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy. In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control.
Chatters, 52% of Customs and Border Patrol is Hispanic. At least, last time I checked, it was just like in 2022 or something.
America, and it's time for America
So no,
to wage
he's
war
not.
on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
That's literally not true. They
But
always
we need Mexico and
extradite.
Canada
They always
to
send
do much more than they've done, and they have
cartel
to stop
bosses. What
the
are you- what?
fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland, and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding
No, they
without
don't.
delay,
Yes, they
so
do.
I can sign
You're
it
saying
into
that
law.
they
So,
usually don't because of
Mr.
capital
Speaker,
punishment. But there are plenty of big cartel bosses that have been sent to America.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
No, they don't. What are you saying?
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years,
They don't usually
our
offer up 29
justice
cartel
system
balls
has
at a
been
time.
turned
No, the point is
upside
they
down
do.
by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing
I'll
law
respond to you
enforcement
guys in a
against
little bit.
political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi, good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
Cash always looks like he's up to some cryptocurrency scheming. Like he dresses like a cryptocurrency rug puller.
We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. 1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh, God. Jordan just said, be a YouTuber, bro. Bro, get into TikTok, bro. Get into TikTok, Brody. Don't do this.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Some of that hairline is insane in the Asmongold community. Bro, he got brain cancer. Calm down. By the way, I have the same shirt his dad has.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer. Actually, a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do...
It's crazy he's using a little kid with brain cancer as a kid who wants to be a cop. Meanwhile, he cut funding the cancer research.
To officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Bro's like, you're the last one. No one else is getting brain cancer treatment. We've cut the funding.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger.
From the
Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%.
Good thing we're deregulating.
Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again.
Bro cut cancer research, and he cut the regulatory agency budgets so that more children can get cancer, and we can't find a cure for them. Hey, yo! He's actively pointing to him. He's like, every child is going to be like DJ, but unlike DJ, they will not get a cure because we cut it.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually. All without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Classic.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Unless God made you trans. Unless God made you trans, then bye-bye.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
They're so cooked, bro. The American military is so cooked. They have to parade like individuals basically to be like, see, we got one.
Jason, that's a very big deal.
We got a new recruit.
That's a hard one to get into, but
also, cop phrenology is real. Cop phrenology is a real science.
Accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Someone in the chat said the only public service celebrated is violence, and that was a banger, chatter. Respect. You're right. Every other aspect of public service is gutted, and the only thing that they stand and salute is like military or cops. They're like, yeah, we love the cops, we love the military. No other. Every other public servant is like watching this being like, am I going to lose my job?
Jason, as Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
No way. No way.
Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it.
Who else?
And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too.
Yeah, when Canada starts launching bathtub rockets at us, when Bloc Québécois and the liberation movement starts launching bathtub rockets directly at Albany.
We're also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House.
Does Trump not realize that America has defense systems?
Home to America, where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Wait, what? He's going to rename the Panama Canal? Wait, what?
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others. But
not for people in Panama.
But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America.
Oh, they're doing. Are they going to do a psyop?
National security and even international security.
Wait,
and
maybe
working with everybody.
Maybe they are going to do manufactured
consent. We need
consent.
it really for international world security.
Talk about how like the indigenous population of Greenland actually wants decolonialization by joining America or some.
We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together.
Color revolution in Greenland.
To heights like you have.
How is he going to do it though? He cut U.S. aid.
It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown. That when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call.
Someone said rare Pakistan W and Asmongold chat.
Everybody was on the line, and
W Pakistan.
They did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East,
Dems
we're
are walking
bringing
out.
back
Started with Bernie, then Van
hostages
Hollen,
from
now a lot
Gaza.
more.
In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the
Steve Goatkoff.
Abraham Accords.
Woodcock, my goat.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood,
a lot
actually.
of things.
I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
What the f?
2,000 People are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said, at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin.
That's crazy.
But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine,
she looks great for 95, by the way. God damn.
Safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
God damn. Bro, get her a job in Congress. What do you mean? She looks sprier than half of Congress, dude, at 95. Gam. Social Security fraudster in 5 years. We're gonna cut our Social Security so good.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally.
Uh-oh.
That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch but some were not so lucky. Corey, commentator, was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs.
He's so weird,
Two
dude.
others,
He
very
cannot.
fine people,
He
were
cannot
also
talk about normal.
with
Corey
the
was
help of
hit
two
really
great
hard. Like,
country doctors.
there's something
Thought
wrong
they
with
were
him.
gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Butler, Pennsylvania is so flat, like Ukraine. The only thing that can stop a bullet is a person's body. The beautiful domes of Butler will shine again when I call for a ceasefire in Butler, Pennsylvania. Just like Ukraine. The weird guy.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's
Is
that
the girl in
built
the
our
middle libbed
country,
up?
and it's
Nah.
love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than
I don't think
ever
so.
before.
I don't think
I believe that my life
you can't
was
tell
saved that
any
day in
longer.
Butler.
The only thing you
For a
can tell
very
is
good
when
reason.
Trump supporters have
I
a
was
specific
saved
type of
by
makeup.
God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took.
I'm a
to
commie and I
defend
find
our
it rude to
children, our
downplay this Corey
country,
guy's
and our
death.
freedom.
Wait, what? I didn't say. I wasn't
As we have
downplaying his
seen
death.
in
I'm
this
making fun of
chamber
Donald
tonight,
Trump.
That same strength
And the
faith,
way he
love,
talks
and
about
spirit
it.
is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American
He's so
people.
rude and
Despite
disrespectful,
the
even
best
when he's
efforts
supposed to
of
be
those
showing
who would try
support.
to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors
I think he's
crossed
wrapping
a
it up.
vast ocean,
Surprisingly, no mention of
strode
Israel.
into
Like,
the
he barely
unknown
mentioned
wilderness
Israel.
and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier.
I've never heard a comedy say as a
They
commie.
chased
Yeah, that person
our
was not a
destiny
commie, but I don't really
across
give a
a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State
No,
Building,
I know when
the
he's wrapping up.
mighty
This is his like
Hoover
wrap-up
Dam,
portion.
and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, and vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel.
We are the worst
We stand
country,
on the
bro. We are
shoulders
such
of
a
these
bad
pioneers
country.
who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to...
This stuff is so boring because he tries to sound like a old school politician, like a JFK, and it's always like, come on, dude. To infinity and far beyond. It's like, okay, dude, we know how you are, okay? We know how you be. We know how you operate. That was so ass, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This is so
we are going to
boring.
renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
God, I hate Lauren Boebert so much.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before.
Bitch.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
I told you he was wrapping it up, dude. I know his speech patterns. Like, apolitical Hassan would say, "Good speech. He became president tonight." Well, I'll let Lester Holt do the talk in that regard.
So some moments I think many would agree probably weren't helpful, including those protests we saw early by some Democratic members.
Yeah. That's the unhelpful part. The Democrats protesting
at the bequest of the speaker.
And the president talking about his agenda, talked about the tariffs that, of course, have just gone into effect this week.
Wrap it up.
It's certainly doubled down on that strategy and indicated there would be more to come. Talked about foreign policy, and it appeared that he is ready to move forward with Ukraine, but talked a lot about Ukraine and Russia and getting a peace deal, something that is very much at the top of mind. And then a lot of the cultural issues, a lot of time spent on some of the more controversial federal programs that he says his Department of Government Efficiency is cutting. So a wide-ranging, and as mentioned, the longest speech ever in the State of the Union or a joint address. So he now holds the top spot there. Just go to Kristen Welker for your thoughts.
Savannah, I was struck by the fact that after that rocky start, when Congressman Al Green was removed for jeering at him, this really became a speech about cultural issues, a culture war speech, if you will. And he spent about 20 minutes on it. It took him 20 minutes to talk about the top issue for voters, which is, by the way, the economy. He also talked about immigration, the environment, government censorship, all of those things. A couple of headlines. You talked about tariffs. That's obviously a huge issue because there's a lot of concern among some Republicans that the tariffs that he's imposed against Mexico and Canada and China could drive up prices. He acknowledged, quote, there will be a little disturbance and it will require a little adjustment. That is significant. That's the furthest that he's ever leaned into that. On foreign policy, he announced that the top terrorist responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing is being flown to the U.S., is going to face justice. And notably on Ukraine, I thought that was one of the biggest headlines of the night after that explosive Oval Office meeting. The president seeming to indicate Some progress has been made. President Zelensky sending him a note indicating he
Bernie
wants
Sanders
to make
is going to respond
on that
in a little
deal,
bit
which is seen
to Trump's
as the
address.
first step.
Look at how
Conversations
beautiful Vermont
with the
looks.
Russians as well. He said it would be beautiful to get a deal. So I think those are some of the significant headlines. But again, so notable that
He's
began
not
this
live
speech
yet.
really focused on those culture war issues, and reminder that that's part of.
Bro, let me tell you something, okay? This Trump speech was basically just a rally. And just like every other Trump rally, it was so perfectly chock full of idiotic nonsense that doesn't actually help anybody and simply harms some of the more vulnerable populations that exist within the boundaries of the United States of America.
Is through the
And
concept of
it
the
played
big
a
lie,
role
and boy,
of
did we hear
distraction.
that